Hey there, good morning. Uh, the sun's out, uh, which is unusual for Australia at the moment. It's 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 been freezing, to be honest with you, and I'm not enjoying this winter whatsoever. Absolutely hate it, and I've been looking at you got a heat wave in the UK, as you're well aware, and it's quite bizarre. I mean, look, when I lived in the UK, I didn't particularly like the summers. Um, I suffered with the heat, loathed it. I was a lot bigger, so I had a lot of weight on me as well, which didn't help. And I used to sweat profusely. I really did, and I loathed it. Everything about it. I think as I've got older, I appreciate the warmth a lot more. So when we when we moved to Spain, I think it made me appreciate the good weather, and I loved it. I loved the heat in Spain. I really did. At times it got too much, but it was great for my arthritis. It was great for my joints. It was just great for my sense of well-being, really. And I think I suffer with that. What do you call it? Seasonal affective disorder, SAD, or whatever it's called. Because if I don't see the sun, it drives me insane. And the one thing that annoys me about the house we live in is it's got shutters. So you've got your windows and you've got your shutters in front. So it blocks out a lot of the sun. So you just don't see it. And when it's the height of summer, those shutters are down. So the house is predominantly dark. I loathe it, absolutely loathe it. I mean, I also work in a shopping centre as well, so there's no natural light, and that really plays havoc with my sense of well-being equally. Um, I have at the moment. I've got to get this sorted, and I just haven't got around to it. I think there's a problem with my. Is it called circadian rhythm or circadian rhythm? I don't know how you pronounce it, but let me know. And because I actually have the shutters, my body doesn't naturally wake up when it gets light. It wakes up a lot, many hours before that. But it doesn't know what kind of not time scale, but it doesn't know the time. My body literally doesn't. So I have no natural light coming in when the sun comes up. So I go to bed relatively early, and so I'm in bed by probably 8:30, sleep by 9, and but I wake up at like stupid o'clock in the morning, like 3 o'clock in the morning, and then just can't get back to sleep. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's 6 hours. It's not enough sleep, honestly. I need a lot more than that, but it's something. Um, so these days, 55 years old, I appreciate the good weather, the hot weather. And in Australia, we get extreme, so we can get up to mid 40s isn't unusual, and beyond. So we can go beyond that. I think the first year I came here was 95 actually, and was it 95 or was it 97? I came here twice anyway, but one of those years was really, really hot. I couldn't even move to turn the air conditioner on. It was that hot, and I hated it. But I was a lot younger then. I was in my 20s, so I just couldn't stand it. Now I love it, appreciate it. In fact, Daryl actually hates it, and I love it. Go figure. So anyway, the heat wave in the UK. I was watching the news this morning, which made me think about what to talk about today. And they're talking about closing schools because it's too hot, and public transport being affected, and all these different things happening because of the heat. Now, I remember, and I think it was the really hot summer of 1976. I think that's when I started school. In fact, I'm almost positive. It might have been the year after, but anyway, when I was in infant school, if it got too hot as kids, we had lessons outside. There was no sun hats, no free ice cream, no ice cold water. It was lessons outside, and that was it. And which was probably hotter than what the actual classrooms were anyway. We didn't complain. We enjoyed the sun. We were kids. It's what kids did. We played. Kids since COVID, I mean, during COVID, have missed so much of school. And now they're thinking of closing schools because of the weather. Only in Britain could that happen. Only in Britain. Here, everything's adapted for it. I mean, look, our house has air conditioning in every room. I work in air conditioning, which I actually hate because it's freezing cold and my body just does not like it at all. And we get on with it. And everything functions perfectly well. In the UK, everything stops. But everything stops in the UK with extreme temperatures. So whether it's extreme cold or snow or the extreme sun as you're getting now, everything just closes down. And it's so archaic. It really is. Societies have to function no matter what the weather is. Kids don't care if it's too hot. They get out and play. They do all the things kids do. Old people, yeah, that's a concern. But one would hope that they're in air-conditioned old people's homes and they're with carers and they're looked after, or family go around and look after their elderly relatives during this, during the inclement weather. But kids, they just get on with life, as I did. I have really fond memories from that time. In fact, my school photo, I remember it was blindingly hot, and we're all stood outside having the class photo taken, and I was literally just dripping in sweat. And it was wonderful, wonderful times, wonderful memories. And as I said, as I got older into my teens and all the rest of it, things changed. And I didn't like it for quite a while, but now, yeah, I love the heat. I really do. Now, whether you're in Spain, Australia, or the UK, temperatures fluctuate, goes up and down. So, when we moved to Spain, we moved in about February the 1st, and the cold is extraordinary. When we both thought, Darren and I, that we'd moved to Spain, we never even thought that they had seasons and the winter was going to be bloody cold. But it was. It was unbelievably cold. We had this villa at the top of Harstack Hill. Beautiful views overlooking the ravine, Carabassi down below. You could see Alicante. You could see the beach and the sea. So you could see everything, and beautiful. But it was so freezing cold. That villa was the coldest villa I'd ever lived in. We had no heating, a bit like in Australia, no heating whatsoever. We literally had no aircon either. Luckily, I had that here, but there we didn't have any aircon at all. So in the end, we managed to scrape some money together because we were pretty poor at that time, and we managed to get a Calagas fire, which did warm the house up somewhat. And I think it was letting out a lot of fumes as well. So we probably should be dead, to be fair. We probably could have died because it was a second-hand thing that we got, and you could always smell gas, and it was just awful. Too scared to open the windows because it was so cold anyway. So, and then that caused damp and mold, and there was black mold everywhere. It was just unbelievable. So on the surface, Spain is a great place, but dig under the surface and it's pretty bad at times. And I remember all the bedding was soaked and damp. The windows were just running in water. When the weather was really bad, the rain used to come through the windows and the door. We used to have to put towels down to stop the water. Nobody told us this before we moved. Nobody. This is something we just found out. And it's a bit different here. Look, I mean, houses here are built a little bit better than what they are in Spain. I think in Spain they're just literally thrown up, really. And there's no insulation of the sorts. There's no, as I say, double glazing or heating or anything really. And because it does get so bitterly cold there in the Valencia region, it was just horrendous. I think the weather is actually akin to the weather here in Australia, if I'm honest. I don't think there's a lot of difference. We equally had really, really hot days. But I think at that time, we had a swimming pool as well. Not that I could swim, but I would go out and sit by it or paddle in it or whatever. And so there were ways of cooling down, and you'd walk down to the local bar and have a couple of pints of Mao, and it was all very nice. And in the UK it's a bit different. It's very humid. So the infrastructure isn't built for the heat waves that they're experiencing at the moment. There's no swimming pools as such. I mean, each urbanisation or each area of the urbanisation had its own swimming pool, so you could see it from our balcony. Actually, you could just pop down, have a swim, come back. Lovely swimming pool as well, and it was all relatively cheap as well. I think at the time, how much was the fee? I think it was about €100 a year. It was something ridiculously small. As was council tax. It was just cheap living at that point. I know things have changed a lot in Spain now, and property that we were renting at that time was about €400-500 a month. I think that same property now is probably close to 1,000. So things have changed dramatically. But a lot of the Brits who lived there at that point moved out anyway, moved back to the UK because of Brexit and all the rest of it. So here it's a little bit different. Property is expensive. It's exceptionally expensive, and I'm testimony to that. I know how bad things are. So, but wherever you live in the world, you get on with the weather. I mean, I know Brits are known for their constant complaining, and we're called whinging Poms for a reason. But come on, at one stage we conquered a third of the world, and we're still moaning about the weather. I guess it's just a British thing, and we're just constantly going to moan about the weather. Doesn't make sense, does it really? So look, next week in the UK, it's probably going to be raining and your temperatures are going to be down to 20 degrees. So rather than complaining, just enjoy it, Closing schools, really, get some gumption, get some grit, they're great days for kids to enjoy. They really are. And if it's anything like they were when I was young, when I first started school, infant school, and those long summers, and they were, my happiest memories were from that time. Probably my first sort of memories from that time as well. So enjoy, really. Think of me over here in the cold, no heating, not enjoying it. You're very lucky. You're very lucky to be where you are at the moment. So, just take that summer and run with it, because Britain doesn't get summers like that often. Really, it doesn't. One day it's raining, next minute it's hot, cold, stormy. grey, overcast. I mean, grey and overcast is the standard for the UK. So, 36-degree heat, love it, cherish it, remember it, because that ain't going to happen that often. So, anyway, that's it for today. Just a quickie, and talk to you again next week. Okay, ciao.